This time we begin with animals, music, American Indians, food, transportation, and cartoons. Of African killer bees or common honeybees, the ones who've killed more people in the U.S. Sometimes you gotta think to yourself, why is this a trivia question? The bedbug hunter is called the kissing bug because it bites its victims here. Other times it's just perfectly obvious, like the lips or the mouth or something. Yep. I mean, come on, can you fault me for a neck kiss? Gargamel, the wizard. Never watched it, would never have known it. The tribe called itself Dakota, which means allies, while others called them Sioux, meaning this. Now we're building a little theme of enemies here. Australia's maned goose operates under an alias. It's really one of these daffy creatures. Duck, duck, goose, eh? Legend says a Canis latrans, one of these, raised Pico Spill and taught him how to howl at the moon. What did you want, a werewolf? Ah, the other one. It refers to the key and meter symbols at the beginning of the composition, not Beethoven's autograph. New Zealanders used to raise red deer for these, which were ground and used as aphrodisiacs. No, thank you. Invented in the 60s, this engineer's synthesizer was used for switched-on Bach. Yeah, Robert A. Moog. Oh, I would have been wrong had I shot for it. Guess would have been Roland. For about $60 million, you can buy one of their 767 jetliners. Boing. Of a clarinet, bagpipe, or oboe, one which uses a double reed. The and that comes up is a pretty big hint there if you don't know it anyway. Herman Hupfeld, who wrote When Yuba Plays the Rumba on the Tuba, also penned this Casablanca hit. African folk songs sung in Zulu by Miriam Makeba and incorporated into The Lion Sleeps Tonight. Didn't know that was the name of it. If you told a woman she had a lovely papoose, you'd be referring to this. See, here's the problem. Too many things I could say. Let's see, a term of endearment. Major world power that averages only one car per 3,853 people. Of course, they wouldn't all have cars. In reality, it was a dime novelist, not the Indians, who coined the term Great White Father for him. In a 1971 #1 hit, Paul Revere and the Raiders said this tribe was so proud to live, so proud to die. If you visited someone at home in his hogan, you'd be visiting a member of this tribe. Name of this brand of coffee comes from the French sans caffeine. The only Woody Allen film named for a food. Up to 40 times cheaper than air, it's the least expensive way to ship bulk cargo. There are so many things you could say to that. This state's official dish is chili, partner. I could have worded that a little differently. It's said Henry David Thoreau invented this loaf with dried fruit baked in. In World War II, U.S. troops called these vehicles meat wagons. Jeeps. Ambulance. Appropriately named Ghost Horse in Casper the Friendly Ghost cartoons. From French for to carry, it's what Lewis and Clark had to do a lot with their canoes. Sales of this mineral supplement have increased sevenfold since 1980. Cartoon family originally seen in prime time that lived in the Skypad apartments. Bambi's friend Flower was this. Flower was a skunk. And now the last clue. Top Cat was a takeoff on this sitcom character. Now to Double Jeopardy. This time we have first lines, Middle Ages, medicine, North Africa, presidents, and TV nostalgia. I wish I was in the land of cotton. It's the only major river to flow through northern Africa. The prologue to this movie begins a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Its first words are "We the people." First three words, really. When I wrote the following pages, or rather the bulk of them, I lived alone in the woods. To be or not to be, that is the question, is the first line of this prince's famous soliloquy. It's not a what, it is a who, referring to the character. Adjective specifically meaning belonging to or characteristic of the Middle Ages. In the early 8th century, a mixed group of Berbers and Arabs conquered this European country. Though still legal in every North African country except this most northern one, polygamy is rarely practiced. Danny DeVito came out of his cage to marry Rhea Perlman during a lunch break of this show. Subject of the Peter Hurd portrait, which LBJ called the ugliest thing I have ever saw. Himself, huh? Many Europeans were eagerly expecting this to occur at the millennium in the year 1000. Speaking of that LBJ clue, that's pretty tricky because typically you would not have the answer be in the clue, but in a case like that, I guess he'd have to be. For 1100 years, this Italian city was a republic ruled by an elected official called the Doge. Though Fleming discovered this first modern antibiotic in 1928, his Nobel Prize for it came in 1945. Historical epic that evolved from and is said to have marked the end of the Middle Ages. Mm-hmm. Three of our first five presidents died on this holiday. Adams and Jefferson. I do not know who was the third. Christmas seals now fight all lung disease, but originally targeted this number one killer of the early 1900s. Derived from the bark of the cinchona tree, it was for years only known remedy for malaria. Consisting of cracked grains of wheat cooked like rice, it's one of North Africa's basic dishes. And the third president to die on July 4th, James Monroe, the fifth president overall. With nearly 6 million people, it's not only the largest city in North Africa, but on the entire continent. Leroy, the high school coach, drowned in a bowl of her chicken soup. The only president buried in any of our 10 largest cities, his tomb is in New York. Covering most of Morocco, this mountain chain was named for a Greek titan. Venereal disease, formerly known as the pox, or the Great Pox, as opposed to smallpox. Yeah, I thought that was too easy. Once the symbol of Hermes or Mercury, it is now the symbol of medical profession. Better not mess. It said it took 4 plumbers with special tools to extricate this president from the White House bathtub. While President Truman often called wife Bess the boss, he called her the boss's boss. Adventure, he's referring to her mother, but I have no idea who that would be. And I'm not particularly interested in guessing. So who is it? In the Mary Tyler Moore Show pilot, he tells Mary, "You got spunk. I hate spunk." A line my family quotes very, very often. Still in diapers when he joined the Today Show cast in 1953, he sent the ratings climbing. Now the last clue. They lived at 623 East 68th Street and had a baby on January 19th, 1953. Just because I feel like it, I'll take the shot. Rare triple stumper to end the game. You know, fuck it. Final Jeopardy. Cities. In 1904, this city hosted the Democratic National Convention, a World's Fair, and the Olympics. That'll do for now.